One of the cool things about traveling the world with sport is I've had so many opportunities to evangelize Canberra as a beautiful place, try and convert people to come here and see it, and especially for events like Floriade, which is so pretty to show off all the beauty that Canberra has down near the lake. And I'm really fortunate that I just live across the road, and so I come with my dog Doogie down here almost every morning, and we just get to walk through this kind of area around Lake Burley Griffin, and it's just stunning, and I'm just really grateful that just take a moment and stop and enjoy it almost every morning.
I had an amazing time at Floriade chatting with some of our Aussie Olympic gold medalists. Check out their unique perspectives.
Just the biggest myth for people with disabilities is that you can't do sports because you have a disability. And it's a myth. You can have any disability and there is a sport out there for you. Just come and get in contact with Paralympics Australia and you can be a part of this amazing movement, the mob, and be a Paralympian and represent Australia wearing the green and gold. So let's debunk that myth and get everyone with disabilities playing sports. The moment I first realised that I could be a part of the Paralympic movement was I went to a Train for Tokyo session at the AIS after Karen Faulkner, who was one of the physios at the time, said, "Nikki, you could be a para-athlete, come along to this day." And I went there and I met other people with disabilities, and that was the first moment that I realised that this could be my new community that I could be a part of. I could no longer play able-bodied sports, and I was still on crutches, and I crutched out of that venue that day and just thought, wow, I think I found my new calling. And so going to a talent ID information session was how I found out I could be a para-athlete.
I can't ever remember a time that I wasn't chasing the dream to compete at the Paralympics or just to push myself in swimming. Before I can even remember, I was in the pool, kind of doing it as a bit of therapy for learning to walk with prosthetics. I think there was a bit of a defining moment though when I was asked to come to Canberra by the AIS swim coach. Here at the time, I was living in Adelaide, and through my career I had never really achieved great success, but the coach here at AIS kind of picked up that I had potential. My technique was a bit terrible, but I absolutely loved the sport, and he recognised that passion and he invited me to come to Canberra and train at AIS. And I think when I got that call from our high performance manager to move here after school, I think that's kind of when the excitement for what the potential of this dream could lead to finally set in.
I just loved sport, and when I had my accident and my life changed, I really just wanted to get back to some of the things that I loved doing, which was sport. And when I started to go down the alley of starting to compete, I think that's when that new world opened up, and I discovered that there's more people like me that I could compete with, and that I could discover this Paralympic movement as like something much bigger than just professional sport. For me, it was all about accepting that adversity isn't something to actually overcome, but actually something to open ourselves up to and adapt, and starting to find like the really positives among all the difficult and different situations that we face in life, because change is something we can be sure of. And so the earlier we actually realize that sometimes change is a positive thing and sometimes it puts us onto a path that leads to something bigger and better, then we can get to live the life that is waiting for us rather than just getting caught up in the life that we wanted to have originally.
As a human, and especially as a para-athlete, there are so many challenges we face every day. And for me, one of the biggest challenges is rowing is such a challenging sport mentally and physically. And coming into trials last year, I'd had about 12 months off rowing and knew that this is what I wanted to do, but I wasn't quite fit. So every day was getting up and being the best athlete I could be and not giving up and doing everything I could. And then I got selected in the PR3 double and then went on to become a world champion that year. So never giving up and having my friends and family supporting me is what got me through that challenge.
I think what's really important to keep in mind is that each and one of us is so different, and we best find out if we just ask the question, if we just see what a person can do and ask them if they're wanting to give it a go, wanting to give it a try. And I guess the one thing I never thought a person like me could do is run and compete in a running event. And having lost my legs in an accident, I didn't think that was an option. And I soon discovered that if we put our minds towards something, we can achieve anything and everything if we just find the right people or the right support around us. And yeah, there's nothing we can't do.
I try and think in the lows, like the really tough spots, that is the thing that makes you. You don't get ahead on the days that are easy. It's the days that are tough, the days you do not want to roll out of bed. They're the ones where you really make the gains. But yeah, no, I really try and revel in those challenges because I see those as the opportunities to improve. I think we're all a bit self-conscious of ourselves, and I hope that if like you're doing something for the first time, something you're not comfortable with, you're setting out on a new journey, especially in the fitness space. Yeah, I think we all can be a bit self-conscious of ourselves, and it's so unnecessary. Often when I see someone doing something like at the gym, they're new or something like that, I just have a sense of pride in them. I don't know, it might be a little bit like weird, but just seeing them get out there and do something, and often like, especially if they strike up a conversation and they say something like, this is my first time in the gym, or even if like when I've done things like the city to surf before, people have had really cool interactions where they've just started out on a bit of a fitness journey. And I think people, like often there's that self-criticism and self-consciousness, but like everyone else is in the same boat, and there'll be people like me who are watching you who are like, wow, that's really cool of them getting out there and being proud of them. That's really cool. It's everything. Like, you do not get out there on the field or into an Olympic or a Paralympic final in the pool on your own. You're standing on the shoulders of everyone who supported you to get there, and you absolutely couldn't do that without them. For me, like, my mum has played an absolutely huge role supporting me, especially on those early mornings, taking me to training, and my partner has been there every step of the way. It's obviously like she's just as nervous as I am. It's kind of almost maybe a bit easier being the one swimming, like you kind of got a bit of control of the situation. But just even the small things, I've been busy with full-time work and with swimming, and we kind of strategized a bit, and my partner has been a huge help over like the last 12 months, like making dinner, like all sorts of things, because sometimes sport can be a bit selfish. So I'm looking forward to kind of doing a lot of the things for her and paying her back for everything that she's done in the lead up to really support me to get there.
Show your support for these wonderful humans in the comments section, and let me know what your favorite moment from this year's Floriade was.